Namaskar. We are continuing to consider the 12th sutra, which is under consideration. And that 12th sutra is Atita Anagatam Swarupataha Asti Advabheda Dharmanam. So we have seen the Atitatvam, Anagatatvam, Vartamanatvam, that is actuality, is preceded by potentiality, and actuality is followed by latency. This happens with respect to everything. So, Patanjali's sutra, in the second part of it, Advabheda Dharmanam. There are Advabhedas in characteristics. Characteristics will be either in actual phase, which is preceded by potential phase, and which is followed by latent phase. So this is an important consideration. Particularly philosophical minded people, they consider this as a realm of knowledge. But those who are very, very practical minded people, like people of our generation, our times, we just bother about the present. We don't want to go towards the past and go towards the future. We don't want to know the past of a thing or future of a thing. We just want to know the present thing. This is how the knowledge pursuit is limited, very limited in our times. But for a student of metaphysics, student of philosophy, this cannot be the standpoint. A philosopher cannot be, or student of philosophy cannot be like a practical minded person who gives the importance only to actuality and turns a blind eye towards the previous stage of potentiality and the later stage of latency. So, therefore, this subject matter of the sutra might be little discomforting, or might be even not so useful, or perhaps even useless for very, very, very practical minded person. And therefore, it will be only of interest to those who are interested in the philosophical pursuit of knowledge rather than practicality pursuit of knowledge. So, the point is here, Adva Bhedas, Advam. Adva are three. So, that should be taken note of. Potentiality, actuality, and latency. Now, the things which are existing are existent, and therefore it entails an inquiry into potentiality of what is actual today, and or the potentiality phase of what is actual today, and then latency of what is actual today. Well, it might be said like this. With respect to non-existent things, which we did consider in the last session, such as son of a barren woman, never existent any time, was neither existent in earlier times, nor existent today, nor will be existent hereafter. And these are such certain asat objects, which are only ideas, such as Vandhya Sutta, son of a barren woman, Shashashrunga, hair of a horn, Narashrunga, hair of a human being, Kha Pushpa, that is sky flower. So these examples come in philosophical domain. Now, you cannot be asking a question, what is the history of a son of a barren woman? because son of a barren woman never ever existed, and is existing or will be existing. Therefore, it will not be having historicity. There will be no history for a son of a barren woman. So, it is not proper to say, it will be quite absurd to say that it was a very bad condition, very bad time for son of barren woman, potentially, or even latently. So there is no retrospective condition or prospective condition to such an entity which is called asat, because it doesn't have even actuality. So, like, we can come across a fact that we are told that you had a very good past. You had a very good past, or you will have a very good future. So many people are keen to understand what is one's past, what was my past. So there are techniques of past regression, and many people are interested to know about one's own past. And people are equally interested in knowing one's own future. What will be my future? What will be my condition hereafter? Perhaps, and what will be my condition in the next life? So, what was my past life, and what is my future life? What was my state retrospectively, and what is my state prospectively? Because we are existent. We are sad vastu. We are not asad vastu. We are sad vastu. But there is no such case that Vadhya Sutta, a son of a barren woman, is curious about knowing the past. Was it bright or was it gloomy? Was it tormenting or was it exciting? Nor a son of barren woman will have a question that whether prospectively will I be having a bright time or gloomy time, because it is non-existent thing altogether. So with the case of something that is existent, such as you and me, we are existing. The things around us are existing. So those are sad vastu, while son of barren woman is asad vastu, non-existent. Non-existent ever. Ever before, ever after. It is going to be non-existent. It is also non-existent today. So there is no actuality, potentiality and latency for asad vastu. But the things which are around us, which are true things, they all have endless past, beginningless past and endless future. Because existent is always existent. Non-existent is ever non-existent. So when existent thing is ever existent, there are these three advas: atitatvam, anagatatvam and vartamanatvam. So what is existing today is vartaman. It has vartamanatvam, that is, it has presentness. We see them, we experience them, we have them. So that's the actuality. Now actuality regressively has a potential state. Something what is actual today was earlier potential, was earlier potentially there. It was not non-existent like a son of a barren woman. It was existent in some other form, that is called anagatatvam. And then something will have atitatvam. The actual thing will have atitatvam. So it will cease to exist, but it is not absolute non-existence. It is not absolute ceaselessness. Like we saw the example of a piece of wood. The piece of wood is in front of us. It's an actual object, real object. But suppose the piece of wood is burnt out. Then what has happened to that entity which was actually present, a part of it has become smoke, a part of it has become vapor, and something has become ash. So, in some form or the other, the lost piece of wood is existent. The wood has become latent. But that latent wood has become what? Presently, what it has become after the piece of wood is burnt, the piece of wood is not there. Then what is the actuality? Something has become smoke and has gone up into atmosphere. Something has become vapor and has gone into atmosphere. And something is lying there which is in the form of ash. So the point is, all the three are realms of knowledge in philosophy. Unlike the practical minded person, you just can't be making an object of knowledge only that is existent, that is present. In all its earlier phases, it is object of knowledge. In all its later phases, it is object of knowledge. So this is what Vyasa is explaining us. So either the existent thing will have apakarshatvam or utkarshatvam. It will have better condition or it will have worse condition. It will have bad condition or it will have good condition. It will have valuable condition or it will have valueless condition. But it is going to exist. Like wood has a value. What is the value of ash? What is the value of smoke? What is the value of vapor? Nobody goes and buys the smoke of wood, piece of wood which is burnt out. Nobody goes and procures the smoke. Now we know the smoke is a pollutant. The smoke will pollute the atmosphere. So it is not good. So therefore in our times, with our awareness of atmosphere and environment, we are not allowed to burn anything in our times because that's a pollutant. If you burn, it becomes smoke, and smoke is a pollutant of the atmosphere, and we don't want to pollute the atmosphere. So it will spoil the atmosphere. Burning the wood, burning the paper, burning anything is a taboo today, for very right reasons. There is a taboo on burning dry leaves. There is taboo on burning paper. There is taboo on burning any material because it is spoiling the atmosphere for all times. So there is apakarshatvam with regards to burning the piece of wood and then making it non-existent, because it is going to exist in a form which is going to be pollutant. So also nobody is going to procure ash. Nobody is going to buy the ash. So there is apakarshatvam. Burning the wood, what has resulted is apakarshatvam, that it has lost the value. It has lost the value of any kind. The wood has a value, ash doesn't have value, smoke doesn't have value, vapor doesn't have value. And sometimes it can be utkarsham. End of something can be bringing out a brighter condition. End of something, end of actually something will perhaps be bright, like end of our ignorance, end of our viciousness, end of our wickedity will be glorious. So the actuality will end at some point in time because it's all ephemeral. Now, if something is ending, it can be either having utkarsham or apakarsham. Utkarsham means evolved condition and apakarsham means devolved condition. So, philosopher is not narrow-minded or doesn't have a narrow view like practical-minded person who is very rational person, very business-minded. The person doesn't like to go to the past and try to make it an object of knowledge, nor the future. This is what has spoiled our world, because we have become very practical minded. So the car was manufactured in 1930s, and we thought it's a glorious invention that now we have automobile. But then it started burning petrol, it started burning fuel, and then it started polluting. It was turning out a pollutant, and the pollutant went on to spoil the atmosphere. The ozone layer was torn, has been torn. Now they say it is irreparable loss. So the scientists are not far-sighted, they are short-sighted, because this scientific mindedness, rationality, gave rise to all discoveries and inventions. The technology came up. Now we know many of the technologies have proven to be very painful. They have proved to be a monster, such as automobile engineering has proved to be a monster. We never bothered about it, the fact that it would burn petrol, and burning the petrol will turn out carbon monoxide, and the carbon monoxide would be spoiling our atmosphere for ever. And now we are repenting. Or the nuclear bomb, how devastating it was in the Second World War, Nagasaki, Hiroshima. So scientists only deal with cause and effect and not consequence. Philosophers deal with cause and effect and consequence as well, because the latency and potentiality is also equally important realm of knowledge rather than merely actuality. So these are the adhva which Patanjali is referring. It is adhva of the dharma, and the dharmi is always constant. So with respect to now our vasana which we have been dealing, the chitta is dharmi, and the vasanas will come, vasanas will go, vasanas will perhaps, even some vasanas will end. Now we don't have vasanas for the earlier objects technologically. Now we don't want radio set. So the vasana for radio was there in the 20th century, earlier part of 20th century, when Marconi invented radio. So people developed vasanas to procure a radio set. Now how long? Until the new technology of television came up. And now we want to go for television and not radio. So vasanas for radio has ended. So some vasanas will come, some vasanas will go. But the locus of vasana, ashraya of vasana, the support of vasana, which is chitta, is dharmi. So chitta will experience so many vasanas coming, and they are ephemeral, they are temporary, they go away. Some of the vasanas are long lasting, they will stay and stay and stay and stay. Some of the vasanas are timeless, they will be permanently there, such as avidya. Avidya will be permanently there if we don't make any spiritual endeavor. So that is how we have to understand the knowledge pursuit of a philosopher, which is different than knowledge pursuit of an academist. Say for instance, there is a Vedic injunction, Swarga Kamo Yajayet. one who is desiring celestial pleasure, delight, happiness, he should do yajanam, yagna. He should perform yagna. Yagna will take him to heavens and he will get heavenly experience, which is far greater, superior than terrestrial pleasure. So, Swarga Kamo Yajet. This is a famous statement that comes in our philosophical texts. Now, if somebody is skeptic and agnostic and doesn't believe in Swarga at all, there is nothing like heavens. Heavens doesn't at all exist. When heavens don't exist, where is the question of heavenly pleasure? Where is the question of heavenly desire? Where is the question of heavenly condition? So he will not get engaged into yajanam. Because Vedas say, engage in yajna, you will get celestial pleasure. You will go to celestial plane and enjoy celestial gratifications. But somebody doesn't believe in heavens at all, why will he do such noble act of yajna? So, if you do good deeds, you will get punyam. Now, if somebody doesn't, if you get punyam, you will get sukham. So, in Karma Siddhanta, we have seen this. That if you do dharma, punya, you will get pleasure. If you get pleasure, you will get happiness. Now, if one doesn't believe at all in that happiness, which is promised, such as celestial pleasure, celestial happiness, swargiya sukha, swargiya sukham, why will the person engage in dharma, punya? Why should I do virtue? Because virtue promises heavens and I don't believe in heavens, so why should I do virtue? So a man will be weaned away from noble deeds. Man will be weaned away from punya karma, dharma karma, which is not a good thing for the society at large and even human being. So it has to be believed. We don't see heaven, but we have to believe in heaven. If you don't believe because you don't see, then you will not do something which promises heavens. What is it that is promising heavens? Is that you must perform punya karma, you must perform virtuous karmas, you must perform noble karmas, you must perform meritorious karmas, you must perform punya karmas, dharmya karmas. Why will one engage into dharmya karma and punya karma? Therefore, this skepticism is a huge, large hampering factor for human evolvement. Secondly, coming to a worldly example, we know sesame seeds give oil. Now, if you want oil, you must have sesame seeds. If you want oil, you must have groundnut. So that will give you oil. But if you don't want oil, why will you go for sesame seed, harvesting sesame seed, harvesting groundnut? So if you want oil, you must grow, you must harvest such things which contain oil, and then oil that can be sent to oil mill, and the oil will be squeezed out and they will be able to avail of the oil. You will not be able to get oil from dust. You will not get oil from earthen material or matter of the earth. The stone won't give you oil. The earthen particles won't give you oil. It is sesame seeds which will give you oil. It is groundnut which will give you oil. It is peanuts which will give you oil. It is almonds which will give you oil. Not anything will give oil to rise to the oil. So therefore we must, this is the wisdom, that oil is not found somewhere. For oil, we will have to cultivate something which contains oil, such as sesame seeds, such as peanuts, such as groundnut. So that will give rise, or the coconut. We know coconut oil, we know the peanut oil or groundnut oil, we know almond oil. We don't know stone oil, we don't know gold oil, we do not know metal oil. Metal won't give rise to oil. So there are certain things which give rise to the oil, and this is how ancient Orientalists realized that oil is potentially there in sesame seeds, oil is potentially there in peanuts, oil is potentially there in coconut, oil is potentially there in groundnut, oil is potentially there in almonds, but not in a stone, not in a metal. Even the gold cannot give rise to oil. So, Anagatatvam, Atitatvam is an important realm of knowledge for student of philosophy and not a student of materiality. So that is what Patanjali, Vyasa is telling us. So these are Adva, Vartamana Adva, Atit Adva, Anagata Adva. So I wanted to explain this for you to understand Adva Bhedat. What is Adva? Adva is Vartamanatvam, Atitatvam, Anagatatvam. So that is the Adva Bheda. Something is actual, something is therefore prior to that was potentially existing, and after actuality is over, it will be latently existing. That is Adva. Now this Adva Bheda happens in Dharmanam. So, if there is characteristic, there is always a characterized. So the point is, with reference to what we are discussing, the topic of Vasana, the Chitta is Dharmi. And actuality is Dharma. Potentiality of something is Dharma. Latency of something is Dharma. So they are temporary. They come and go. So similarly, there is a case of Vasanas. Some Vasanas come and stay for a long time. Sun came into existence, it is going to last for 10,000 million years. A banana comes to existence, it is not going to last after a couple of days. A mango comes into existence, it is not going to last after a couple of days. It will be rotten. It will be gone. So like the sun has been sighted in the sky for last 4,500 billion years, will be watched for another 5,500 million years, a total of 10,000 million years. Everything is not seen to be lasting that long. So it goes into the phases of actuality and potentiality. So the sun, 4,500 billion years back, was in a nebulous form. It was in nebula. So potentially it was a nebulous form. Now it has become a star form. Now it has become yellow dwarf star. And then once the sun is latent, what is going to happen after another 5,500 million years, as estimated by modern scientists, is the death of the sun. If the sun dies, what's going to happen? So it's either going to become, it will become a red giant, as the scientists describe the later phases of the sun. Today it's a white dwarf, a star of the caliber of white dwarf. it's going to become red giant. When it becomes a red giant, it will engulf Mercury, Venus, Earth, perhaps even a part of Mars. It will engulf all those planets. Then what is going to happen? They say after that, it's going to become white dwarf. It's higher grade than what the sun today is. Today it is yellow dwarf. So temperature wise, we know what is the temperature of the sun today. 6500 Kelvin surface temperature. When it becomes white dwarf, it will become, the temperatures will soar up to some tens of thousands of degrees. And then it will become smaller and smaller as well. Then it will become smaller than what the sun today we have, which they say is 880 miles of diameter. It will become smaller and smaller, perhaps of the size of a tennis ball. Now today it is 108 times the size of the earth. Now imagine the sun becoming of the size of a tennis ball. Then it will be high magnitude star called white star. Then further it can proceed to have a supernova. When it becomes supernova, it will throw so many things in the cosmos. Fragmentation of the sun will take place, but it is going to remain. The sun is not going to be lost after 10,000 years. It is existent today. It is going to ever exist in some form or the other, such as red giant and white dwarf and then supernova. And in some form it is going to remain. So this is the far-sightedness of philosophers, like far-sightedness of the astrophysicists today. They don't say sun is going to end after another 5,500 million years or 5.5 billion years. It's going to transform into some form or the other, because the existent is ever existent according to metaphysics. So this is how we were trying to understand this 11th sutra. There we understood Atita Anagatatvam. What is that? We understood. So it also includes Vartamanatvam. Atitatvam, Vartamanatvam, Anagatatvam are only Advabheda Dharmanam. They are only different phases of the characteristic. And therefore characteristic is always having an underlying principle called dharmi. So, with that we will be ending the delineation on the 12th sutra. Then, as an enunciation to 13th sutra, so something we see that something is existent but very, very in a subtle form. Or was not existent like the sun before its birth. It was there in a nebula. Nebula give birth to stars. So the sun was born 10,000 years back. Then before that it was in the womb. Like we were all born on particular point in time. Before we were born, we were in the womb. And before that, we were in the sperm and ovum cell. Before that, we were in the food. This is beautifully explained by Upanishads. Anyway, we will not go there. The thing is that all the things either exist in Vyakta Rupam or Sukshma Rupam. Either in Vyakta Rupam, that is manifest form, or very Sukshma, subtle, not visible, even not visible to electron microscope. So anything is going to exist. Originally, how it is going to exist? Gunatmanaha. Gunatmakata. Guna is the primeval matter. Everything has a matter, material cause we say. The pot comes from earth, bangle comes from gold, vessel comes from silver, a table and chair comes from wood. So we know what is the material cause. The material cause has its material cause. The material comes from a cause, such as metal, such as steel, or such as gold. They come from a cause. So there is always a cause of a cause, cause of a cause of a cause, cause of a cause of a cause of a cause, cause of a cause of a cause of a cause of a cause. Now this doesn't go ad infinitum. There is something called as primeval cause, primordial cause, the first cause. The sun came from nebula. Nebula came from Big Bang. From where Big Bang came is not subject matter of physicist or even the cosmologist or even nuclear physicist. So, metaphysicist postulates something as primeval cause, primordial cause. We know that this is universe having diversities. There are fruits and flowers and lives and mountains and rivers and whatnot, planets and stars and nebulas, whatnot. Now this is all diversity. But then it is tapered going towards the cause of cause, cause of the cause of the cause, cause of the cause of the cause of the cause, cause of the cause of the cause of the cause of the cause. How far will it go? It will ultimately go what is called as primeval matter, primordial matter, original matter. And that is gunas, spoken of by Sankhyas, Sattva, Raja, Tama. And from Sattva, Raja, Tama gunas, the things will manifest. First, it will be in a subtle form, then less and less subtle form, less and less and less subtle form, less and less and less subtle form, and then grosser form, finer grosser form, and then slowly grosser and grosser and grosser and grosser and grossest form. And then they become grossest, we are able to have empirical perception of them. So, in the universal phenomenalism, there is a journey from original, primordial, primeval to subtle, from subtle to gross, from gross to very tangible. Whatever these phases, the basic characterized is guna. Sattva, Raja, Tama guna don't have a cause. The primordial prakriti, avyakta prakriti, moola prakriti doesn't have a cause. Rest all have a cause. So, that's what it says. The thing might be in a manifest form or unmanifest form of very high order even, yet the characterized is gunas. Te vyakta sukshma gunatmanaha is the subject matter of the 13th sutra, to which we will be going in our next session. Enough for the time being. Namaskar all of you.